Here. No, you already there.
Go make my sandwich.
I will. I want to give you a little bit more love and affection. You finna take this.
It's going on YouTube, so move.
I don't care.
The faggotry. Bitch. Well, damn, Jen. There we go. That's what Wish Live Lock out. How y'all doing? Welcome into the spiritual relationship seminar and YouTube recording. This is a sound professional, so that's this will be going up on the tube. So I will have people coming on. I'm always jamming. I'm always jamming over here. So I will have people coming on, and Jen, if you can text Larry and tell him I'm on, because I forgot to do that before I click the button. So we have people come on, we'll have conversations, we'll answer some questions about building spiritual relationships. Hey, Louisa. And there's Larry. Okay. Right, there we go. So basically, I'm gonna have Larry he already claimed deals on first. He already called shotgun. So we're gonna start with the conversation or whatever. Feel free to ask questions. We want this to be very active because it is going on YouTube, and hopefully this will help somebody. So if my phone does right, if my phone does, because it's also charging, so we're gonna hope that this does right. Boom. All right. We're going to get Larry on. And before he even gets on here, hashtag make Conjure Black again. Let's go ahead and just get that out the way. Let's go ahead and get that out the way right now. Make Conjure Black again for Larry, y'all.
Hey, make Conjure Black again.
Like, let's go ahead and start off with that.
Yes. So definitely in my car.
I see.
Because reasons, and it's definitely dark.
It is.
Yeah, but it's all right because I look like shit. So here we go. Filter. Instant filter.
That's what filters are for. Filters are great. They make ones look like sixes, and it's okay.
It is.
Like, I just like the effect of a filter. I just like the stars and the sign. So, yeah, I just came. I just walked in at like 8:27. And I needed to wash my hands and set up my life. So I was like, I'm coming, because I was on the phone. So I was like, I got to go in the house. So I'll talk to y'all later.
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I had that going right there.
Oh, Lord. So yeah, I got y'all all made.
Hey, man.
Like, it is ready for you to pick up this weekend.
Look, I'll call you. So, so what are the topics that we were visiting today?
Today we're talking about building spiritual relationships.
Oh, child. See, right there, that one hit close to home because that's very important.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me start off by saying yes. My name is Wayne, Larry Wayne. I'm a conjure person. I'm a conjure man, root worker, all that good stuff. Hoodoo, that's the thing. And so in this tradition, which of course, let's put this out front, is a African American spiritual tradition. Kind of make that very clear. Because it has African roots, and that's what, that's kind of where it comes from. Not to say it doesn't borrow from any other traditions.
Yeah.
But it's still an African American spiritual tradition. And in such that necromancy is a huge part, if you want to call it that, because that's what it is. Pretty much every spiritual tradition that is at least is African based, and most others, they do require you, even like some religions, require you to honor your dead. Okay,
Yeah.
and so I just want to start out with saying that, and especially in my tradition, well, the tradition that I practice, not my tradition, you have to honor your dead. You have to build that relationship with those people, um, because those are going to be, first of all, that's the first line of defense for everything. That's also going to be the ones that are helping you while you're doing whatever work that you're doing. So, if you need to, buckle down and, hit somebody with that good old hex, that's not gonna all, it's not gonna all be you. Your warriors are gonna be there with you. You need to,
Amen.
heal your soul, heal somebody else. Whatever you got to do, your ancestors are gonna be there for you, and so that's that spiritual connection. And then just segueing a little bit, the other spirits in conjure that you build a relationship with, like the Crossroads Man, for example. You have to build a relationship with him for him to work with you.
Hmm.
You know, so that's the thing. You can't just go to a crossroads side and eat this. He would look like, who are you? Like, what do you want? He has to know who
Amen.
you are. I mean, hell, and same thing with Christianity. You got to go talk. You want to talk to the Father. He not finna just talk to nobody he don't know. Did you praise me today?
Say that.
Like,
Say that.
let's keep it real. you know,
Like, did I get a hello? Like, did I get a good morning, Father? Nothing. I ain't get nothing today. All right.
all right, man.
So um for my beginning my beginning folks out here on YouTube and IGTV and everywhere. So building when I say and what I mean by building spiritual relationships, I legit mean building building relationships with spirits, aka your spirit court, the deities you work with, the spirits you work with. Um, so for in my tradition, in the unnamed path, we emphasize that the most because building relationships is a pillar of our power, basically. The ability to move energy, your relationships. These are, a couple of pillars for us. And for me, actually for any tradition, if you're being initiated to a tradition, you have to have a very strong relationship with your initiatory deity before you can be initiated. Typically, especially for us, like if you don't have a good relationship, see you next year. Like we're gonna wait. So typically the very first question that we always ask is, how do you build a relationship? And my answer, then Larry's going to answer. My answer is, what does a relationship look like to you? How do you build relationships with people in your physical life? Hey, big boy, how do you build relationships in your physical life? Do that spiritually. If that means making a date and we meet up to do whatever every week, you do that. If it means we're going to drink some tea on Thursdays at 12 o'clock for 1 hour, you need to do that. Talking, communication, that's a big thing. Researching them and realizing what they like. Ask them what they like and do those types of things. Larry?
Yeah, I mean, I can concur. I mean, all of that is real. Just like you build a relationship and the physical, you have to do the same thing with the spiritual. Um, you have to maintain that consistency. Whether you talk every other day, you talk every day, you talk every Saturday. Whatever y'all gonna do with whatever relationship that you have to make sure that you honor those commitments. Because you can't be rolling up to that altar saying, "Hey, I need $500 because my light's gonna be shut off," and you
Ooh.
hadn't been, maintaining that connection. They finna side eye you like, bro, huh? Yeah, we're gonna give you $2, and you better make that shit stretch from today and tomorrow. Like,
Oh, yes.
spirits are
Like,
petty, y'all. Spirits are so petty, and I mean,
like they
man,
are. Spirits are, oh my God, spirits are petty. Um, yeah, also, if y'all have questions out there, please comment and ask those. Also, so another very common question about building relationships with spirits is, well, typically is always start with your deity. Me personally, it's always start with the deities you've been working with normally. For instance, in Christianity, you work with the God of Christianity. You pretty much know who it is. Well, talk to him. Like start there. Start building that relationship with him. Even if you want to branch out, well, start there. Practice building that relationship with him so you have an idea of what to do when it comes to other deities, other spirits. Just so, for instance, like for me, it's okay. I want to build a relationship with somebody on my spirit court. First, I got to, identify who it is. So, identify, ask. How do you ask? Hey, the person, the spirit I've been sensing for the last like week and a half trying to get my attention. You have it now. So who are you? Simple as that. It's literally just, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Do it in meditation. Say it out loud. Write it out. I don't. However, you will get a response.
Mm-hmm.
I'll meditate sometimes to do it though, but you'll get a response. They'll talk to you. And then once you kind of identify them, then what do you do when and most of us have a Christian background, so I'll put it like that. What so how did you get closer to God? You spent time with him, you talked to him, you meditated with him, you read the book. So the other ones, it's the same thing. It's you talk to them. Hey CBD, you talk to them, you meditate with them. You build that's how you build your relationship. You're showing that you're interested and invested in them. So then they're going to be interested and invested in you.
Right.
And the relationship isn't just one way. It
Right.
goes both ways. Like sometimes you got to sit there and let them talk, and then they're going to sit there and let you talk.
Mm-hmm. It's been many times where I've been sitting at my altar and hey CVD and my boy Millennial just rolled through. That man makes some food. Y'all gotta follow that man. That boy can cook. Lord help me, Jesus. But my people, I've been running my mouth and complaining about something, and I just heard "shut up," and then they just start talking.
Yeah.
Like it happens like that.
In my car today, driving, I was listening to a song, and it was like, okay, so we just go ahead and ignore the fact. I said, hold on, what? What? I did what? We had a whole conversation about one of my clients, like a whole conversation, because
Lord.
they were like, so you want us to do what for this child? That's literally, they were kind of like, you want us to do what now? Like, we got the message, we got the payment, you want us to do what? That's literally, they looked at me like I was crazy. They were like, you want us to do what? I mean, I have faith that y'all can do it. So there's like, you want us to do what again?
Hey.
Yeah, got some foolishness going on. So, so yeah, I'm telling you, once you building a relationship, also you gotta take the good with the bad. So it's kind of like you want a spiritual relationship that it's kind of like, yeah, we have a good relationship, so they do anything I ask for them to do, and they don't tell me no, and blah 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 blah. And then the one time they tell you no, you get offended. Like, excuse you, you work for me. It's like, oh, see, you just fucked up. You got to understand, they don't work for, they work with. You work with. So let's understand, like, they can say no. Hey, Amina, they can say no.
And they will roll out on your ass, too. They will leave with the quickness. You be disrespectful? Cool.
Bye. Bye. Like, yeah. Because sometimes they'll do stuff that's for your good. You might not see it, and it don't feel good, but it is for your good in particular. And that's the thing with all relationships. We all fuss and fight in our relationships. Period. We go to periods of time where we don't talk to any of our friends. We go through periods of times to where we just isolate ourselves, or we're just in a tense moment of heat and we're arguing. Spirit is the same way. It's the same. There are periods of time they will leave your ass. They'll come back, act like ain't nothing happened, or they'll come back and say something. You want to talk about this? are you going to be an adult about this now? And it's like,
Mhm.
me,
Mhm.
you threw the temper tantrum and walked out. So, you will argue. I would like
Mhm.
my sandwich, but you will argue with them just like you do anything else. But
Mhm.
that's the relationship. It doesn't mean that they hate you. It doesn't mean that they don't want to work with you. It's literally you had a disagreement because they said something versus what you thought or what she said.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep. Yep.
typically, if spirit is saying you need to do this, you probably need to do it and not, argue with
Yep.
them about it.
Yep.
Just
Like
saying.
don't bitch and complain. Like if they telling you to do something, go do it. It's probably for a reason. Like prime example. Every time I leave my house, it does not fail. I always have to do something before I leave. It could be, oh, I have to take out the trash.
Mhm.
Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. Probably because they probably saving my neck as I'm crossing the street so I don't die 5 feet away from my home. It's a
Mhm.
reason behind all of those things. And people that complain about why I gotta do this, and I'm like, they watch it over you. I like that time you wanted to go to that party, and you shouldn't have gone to that party, but you tried to go anywhere and spirit straight up say, block that shit, like go sit your ass down. With this car not finna start today.
Look,
Yeah, like, y'all
look,
better take them blessings where they at.
bro, that be happening to me all the time. But now, since the relationship changed, they're talking more. So
Mm-hmm.
now it's actually, hey, don't do that. Sit down. Versus we just, we're gonna inconvenience you so that you just give up on wanting to go. No, now just no. Now they're just like, oh, so we got to that point in our relationship, we can just talk now.
Okay.
You know. And speaking of relationships, just like physical relationships where you have your love languages or how you communicate with your love, or just how you
Mm-hmm.
communicate, period.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Spirit typically for some people, for a lot of people, spirit don't just start off talking to you like this. They don't just, it's
Mm-hmm.
always, they typically use images or
Mm-hmm.
music or dreams, um, or like a random thought that'll pop in. They normally do it that way, and it's more abstract because you have to build the relationship so that they can get closer to you. So where it is, we can have a conversation like this in whatever language you speak. Because
Mm-hmm.
typically, it's still like this. We're still trying to learn each other, so we're kind of trying to use whatever images or whatever, so we can communicate with you. And
Mm-hmm.
then the closer we get, then the more it's kind of like, okay, now we're in sync. We can actually, hey, combo. So
Yeah.
don't get discouraged if you're trying to talk to them and you're not getting an answer in the way you thought you would.
Yeah.
Um, but that just comes with building the relationship.
Yeah. And
Um,
so just to
yeah.
interject, spirit will also hit you with like different senses. They will differently like if they want something, like for example, I was talking to my people last night. I was talking to my dad, a whole lot of shit had popped up. Whole lot of family issues. And so I was just kind of letting it out at the altar. And so I was just talking about offerings, like, okay, well, we're gonna get this, we're gonna get that, like what y'all want. Immediately, not even like 2 seconds, I say what y'all want. I tasted gravy and rice and pork steaks in my mouth immediately, and I was like, "Oh, y'all, okay, okay, okay. That's how we feel tonight. I got you. Cool, good shit. But y'all gonna take this orange right now. But we're gonna get them pork steaks. Trust and believe that's on the menu. And I mean, the thing about it is that when you start honoring those requests from your spirits and you start giving them, what they want from you, then they gonna start giving you what you want. Can you build a relationship with spirits and deities from other cultures?
Yeah.
Yes and no. Yes, yes, yeah, you can, and no, you can't. Because some of those, like Tony's spirits are initiatory. So, yes, you can, but then be respectful that, sometimes those other spirits may say no. It's all on the spirit. So that's why I say yes and no.
Um, so like my unnamed path deities, they are typically open to all men who love men. They'll typically work with them in some form or another. Especially once you have an introduction, then they'll work with you or whatnot to a certain extent. Once you get initiated, it's kind of like they just don't stop talking. They want you to do everything. They want to do everything and whatever. But you can to a certain extent. Um, like me building a relationship with Santa Muerte has nothing to do with my culture at all whatsoever. But based off of just who she is, me being able to build a relationship with her, well, I built a relationship with her because, my husband has a relationship with her. That's why. But I'm
Yeah.
able to build that relationship because she's the patient saint of outlaws, a goddess of death, a spirit of death, and stuff like that. And because I do have a connection with death, I am able to deal with other death deities cross cultural or whatever. So, I
Right.
mean, you can to a certain extent. Some will let you, some won't.
Exactly. Now, and
So,
just a warning, uh, with some of those deities that say no or they don't respond, that means don't push it.
yeah, don't push it.
Because the ones that don't respond probably not responding for a reason, and others that do respond and tell you no, that mean you want to, that make just stop. So, for example, and I'm just gonna be straight about this, and I'm sorry if this offends somebody, but Papa Legba, first of all, everybody not meant to talk to Legba. Okay, everybody not meant to talk to Legba. Everybody can't go to Legba. Okay,
Mm-mm.
Legba takes offerings because he's the crossroad. He's one of the masters of the crossroads, and as long as you come to him respectfully, he'll more than likely work with you as long as you got the right offering. Okay, now he's working with you because of the offering, not because it's you. Some people feel entitled, it's like, oh, he's working with me because it's me. No, no, baby, you got what he want right now. So that's an energetic exchange. Now, them other folks, which I can't say no names, but them other folks who try to lay claim to Legba and say, well, I'm talking to Legba and we gonna do this to you and all of that. Like the little girl that tries to call Papa Legba and got her soul sent to hell. Ma'am, Legba didn't answer you for a reason. You called a trickster spirit. And that man put that work on your ass.
Look,
So that's the
look.
other side to that.
Mhm.
So just be careful. Oh no, High John, I gotta say about this. I gotta speak on High John. High John the Conqueror is one that if you're not black, you can't fool with him. Okay? Just a quick synopsis. High John basically was an enslaved African. He was not a slave. He was an enslaved African man who was allegedly a prince. Many stories, many stories. But he would always outwit the master, the plantation owner. No matter what he did, he was always outwit him. He outwitted the devil. And so basically, the High John root that is left behind was a fragment of his power that was left on this continent so that we could work with him. Now, of course, black people, that's a herb for black folks. Don't go messing with no High John root if you're not black. Don't call on High John if you're not black, because High John don't fool with nobody but black people. Now, High John is not a symbol of strength, but he's a symbol of strength in a different way. He's a symbol of strength and intelligence, not in strength and power. But all of this is to say, that's one of those things to where it does become culture touchy, and those spirits won't work outside of their culture.
Yep.
Now, like Tony has the unique property where his husband works with Santa Muerte, so kind of by default, he can work with Santa Muerte too. That's an exception. That's the difference.
Mm-hmm. And it was one of those. It started off with, I'll give you an offering or whatever to kind of, just so we can get on friendly terms. Because if you're gonna be in this house,
Mm-hmm.
there are boundaries in this house with any spirit or deity that comes through here.
Right.
So let's go ahead and get on friendly terms, so we can all coexist together peacefully. And then
Right.
even when we asked her, it's kind of like, is it okay for us to build a relationship? She's like, yes, I typically stick with my people, but it is okay.
Mm-hmm.
So also ask,
Mm-hmm.
because the worst thing you can do is try to force a relationship. If they don't want you and they put a restraining order on your ass,
That's it.
don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and I do have a thing with certain cultures dipping into voodoo and dipping into Yoruba dead spirits and stuff like that, mainly because it's kind of like, well, did you ask or did you kind of just take it or force them into whatever foolishness you got going on?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm kind of like, typically African spirits and deities deal with African people
Mm-hmm.
normally. Just, just from my experience, that's normally what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are not of the culture at all and you're working with these spirits, my question is always, well, what is that relationship like? Is your relationship really like tedious and hard because you're over here trying to prove yourself? Or is it you have like this entitlement type of thing, this privilege, like, well, I work
Mm-hmm.
with who I want?
Mm-hmm.
That was a question. But that's another
Oh
topic
Lord.
for another video.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's a long answer. But I mean, it speaks for itself. But I mean, all in all, like no matter what you're doing, like hell, Wicca shit. I mean, as much shit as I get Wiccans. I mean, herbs and things know no names, and magic is magic. So even Wiccans, like work with your people. Learn your people, work with your people. Whatever you initiated in, what you're not initiated in, what you want to be initiated in, learn about them. And if you can work with them, work on them. You have to have that kind of relationship, just like you got the relationship with your lover, your family, whoever, even yourself. You gotta have that relationship.
so now that we done talked about these relationships, okay, now I want to go into some different stuff. So for this one, I'm gonna bring Jen on for this
Okay.
aspect.
Goodbye. I'll be here.
So thank you, Larry.
No problem.
Hey, Jen, come on through because I want to get you on for this aspect. Y'all, I'm hungry. I have not ate today. That sandwich was really good. Well, I don't know. I'm just waiting for Wish Life to come on. Um, Also, if anybody else wants to come on, just let me know. If you have something to say based off of what we're about to talk about, just let me know. Y'all don't think I understand the sandwich is like giving me all of my life. That's all he can do is make a sandwich, y'all. Other than that, get out of my kitchen. I said what I said. But so whenever Jen wanted to hop on, okay, I was wondering where she was. I was like, do we gotta go get her? Right, we're gonna take an hour drive to Missouri City to go get her.
Shut up.
So
I was eating, nigga.
I was too.
I told you I had just got home when you started the live. And you said you was getting ready to start. I was like, I was just getting home. And I was starving. I only ate once today because, yeah, that's a whole other question. Started.
I understand. But, so on this aspect of spiritual relationships, um, because I just like Jen's point of view, and Jen can also explain this shit better because she's a teacher, even though she got a degree in like 2 degrees in psychology, and she's on her way to get her PhD, and it's going to be great. I believe in her. Um,
Oh, shut the fuck up.
into your life,
up.
trying to see greatness and black excellence into your life, girl.
I
Look here.
appreciate it, but shut up.
So,
Shut your mouth.
something that I want to talk about in the spiritual relationships, which I almost think I should probably start it live because this is probably going to be enough. So I really believe I might.
I mean, go ahead. Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Don't give me time to
So
get upstairs, so.
okay. So
You
give
gave
me
me,
like
like, no segue. You were just like, so,
Jen,
yeah,
go.
you're next. I was like, dang, can I put my food up real quick? Like,
So
give
hey,
me a
okay,
second.
okay, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and do live part 2, because this next part might take a little bit. So I want to make sure we get the full time. So I'll see y'all in 0.2 seconds. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.